key for Oyotunji because it propelled him to go over into Cuba. Now in Cuba, you all, he was indeed pronounced priest of Obatala. You must know that the practice of Ifa, Ashe, an ancestor worship, is secret on that side of the water. So Oyotunji was amongst one of the first two people not born in Cuba that was initiated to the rites. Upon his initiation, he was asked not to bring the understanding back to North America, but he was saturated in slavery and embedded in segregation. So he decided to start the cultural restitution movement. It started in 1968 in Harlem, baby. What did that look like? The parading the streets of the African dashiki, the teachings of the Yoruba languages, and reinserting customs and traditions. Now, Oyotunji was a personified Yoruba man, which just means he did it all. In saying that, he had a bunch of wives and in turn a bunch of children, which lead us to our king now. Family, here is Kabiyesi, formerly known as His Royal Majesty Oba Adejuegbe Adofumi II. We love Kabiyesi because this is an energy that decided to walk in destiny. Upon the departure of his father in 2005, he in turn sat down and inherited the throne, ensuring that Oyotunji has been right here for 53 years. And out of those 53 years, Kabiyesi has been in the forefront for 18. What is Oyotunji? It's a school for priests and priestesses. Kabiyesi! Yes, this is Kabiyesi right here, everybody. Now our school is you can come and get the sacred literature, the sacred teachings, as well as the sacred know-how. We love Kabiyesi because he's a man of agriculture. He reminds us, if you can grow it, you can sustain life. Oyotunji is very agricultural bitten. We do composting, recycling, and all of that good stuff. On to the fun stuff. Right this way, family. Now, some of you guys have already greeted our town as Eshu. This here is our first town Orisha. Now, Eshu is known to be the messenger to our prayers. You stop and you greet Eshu, you better know the way is open from the north, the south, the east, and the west. I always share, this is the only Orisha that we do not ballet to, which means put our head to the floor. He get his very own salute. And I'm going to show y'all what that looks like. I turn around and I shake my bum 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then I turn it out 3 times. 1, okay, 2, all right, 3. And I'm extra, so I always kick back with the right and walk it out. With that simple gesture, y'all, we just sent Eshu's energy out in front of us to remove what's not supposed to be there, so what's supposed to manifest will manifest. Oyotunji is a very spiritual-based community, and in saying that, spirituality is a feeling-based reality. And Eshu would definitely govern over that. This is also known to be the Orisha that stands at the crossroads, that intent checker, that energy of say what your mouth mean and mean what your mouth saying. Eshu takes offerings in duplicates and threes, cookies, candies, cakes, pennies, toy cars. Anything that you like is a really good gift to give to Eshu. Ashe?
Ashe.
Right this way, family. Now over here on the right, we have our wonderful town garden. Again, very agricultural buildings. And here in the community, we do have 2 all-solar flats, pushing to make the whole community solar. Now, in our garden, I must share, fun fact, we use all composted dirt this year. Ashe, right this way, family. As we pass this way, this is our Ashe Kenya archway. As you come through, the artwork that you do see was placed here by Oyotunji Adofumi in honor of the kingship, the Dahomey kingship, in which our crest is under. Now, all the structure lines and the artwork and the buildings, I gotta stress again, y'all, we in swampland, so everything you see was placed here by our founding members. But the structure lines and the artwork can be depicted in different places in Africa, maybe Benin, Nigeria, or what have you. On this particular side, we do have our state flags risen. The structure in the back will be our Royal Academy. That school was utilized as, of course, a school as well as a safe haven. Segregation very much so over, but, slavery very much so over. Segregation was very real. Once upon a time in 1971 when the movement started, it wasn't, go ahead and bring them on over, Goddess. It wasn't the coolest thing to be your African and indigenous selves. So we do give thanks for our community becoming that safe haven. Now this is my favorite courtyard because of these big mamas right here. They all holding up that whole side of the building, and what that would represent is that feminine energy that surrounds the crown. But these women also have those tribal marks, and those tribal marks would represent where they're from in Yoruba land, what societies they belong to, what practices they participate in, but it also represents a rites of passage. I want to take a couple of seconds and say the first couple of lines to our Yoruba pledge here in Oyotunji. Ow! It's ni ashe kanki bakbarashe. Imi koli kole kolu jujasi. Si oba tiba joba yoruba. What I just said is, I'm compelled by a spiritual force that I cannot resist. I swear my eternal allegiance to the Yoruba flag as well as the Yoruba king. In honor of that, that represents that gateway or that rites of passage that's submitting to the supreme being. May it be Olodumare, equivalent to God, your ancestors, or whatever spirit team that guides you on your destiny. We give thanks for those ways of being. Ashe? Ashe. Right here, family, we have our royal ancestors. Alafian family. These are the Adofumis as well as the Aladuhanos. In the Yoruba land, we're firm believers. As above, so below. We bring our ancestors food, water, laughter, energy. Now, these ancestors are dear to us because they installed in our first king, Osejamin Adofumi, that if he followed his African roots, then his legacy would last forever. Now, y'all got to remember, Osejamin was very, very fair-skinned. He could have passed for Cuban, Italian, Caucasian, whatever he wanted to be. To reaffirm his African roots, he already did the deed. He went over to Cuba and got the rights of the way of being and decided to bring it back to North America. In doing that, he immediately came back to the States, and to reaffirm those African roots, he went over into Africa and was crowned by the Oni of Ife, not just the king of Oyotunji in the South Carolinas, but of North America. What that did was put our school on a global scale, meaning anybody that comes and gets spiritual elevation done here is globally known and collective. I can walk that all the way down. This is why I can say my full name. It's Ifafunke Eshusheke Agbola. The Eshushekes will be my mother's clans, and the Agbolas, in which all my Ire come, will be my father's clans. Because of the teachings of Ifa, we no longer here in North America. It's a very limited language barrier, but it allows us to connect to those things that we can't see, touch, and feel. We love Oyotunji here in North America because, again, y'all, spirituality is a feeling-based reality. It's a common place where you can come and connect to energies that have similar experiences. Because we also taught that spirituality is never no one way. Ain't no one way to get to it, but it feels good to be embodied and surrounded by individuals that are on light paths. Ashe? Ashe. Right this way. Okay. Yes, collective. We are now in the temple of Abatala. Now, Abatala is God of the white cloth, the one that sits high on the mountaintops to have those eagle's views. Abatala's number is 8, and of course, color is white. Abatala will be that essence of, just because you say you're right don't mean you're right. This is an energy that is willing to digress all the way down so that the true purpose or focus can be made. Now, also in this courtyard family, we do have pillars of our community. Yes, these are their burial grounds, their resting places. They only above the ground like this, kind of like in New Orleans, y'all. The water levels used to be a lot higher. But here rests Mama KK. She was an originator. She started in Harlem and migrated to this rural area. We got to remember, no running water, no electricity. She helped install our women's society, Ekbe Moremi, and she was amongst one of the first African-American women initiated to the goddess Oshun. Our next priest, we have Chief Owolowo. Now, Chief Owolowo was our politician, our head of Batala priest, as well as our self-taught linguist. This energy created lots of literature that we can still utilize today off the African cosmos via Amazon. Please do check it out. But we love this chief because he reminded us that the further we preserve the language, the further we will preserve the culture. Then we have Chief Eliatan. Now, Chief Eliatan was our herbalist. He reminded us everything in nature is Orisha. Become closer to nature, be closer to Orisha. Build a garden or something. Ashe. Then we have Chief Awode Kun, and this energy was the force, the bang behind the movement. This energy reminded us that if we have something, we must sustain it. He created what we would call Sholu, and Sholu would represent our militant man. They were protecting the movement and everything and anybody that was a part of it. We love this chief because he made sure that he taught African martial arts and gave the community the opportunity to learn to use firearms because they were being used against us. Ashe? All right now, family. We have made it.